Well, the Indianapolis Colts just saw a massive shakeup in the roster throughout the week. We're going to cover all that, including a massive update in one of our favorite guys, who we hope to see back, Kenny Moore. A big update on him, and maybe a stranger update. So we're going to cover all that and more on this video. What's going on? It's Elijah from Sports Talk Indy, where we cover all things Colts. And today is Thursday, and we get ready for Sunday, which means that the Colts have had two practices already. So we have a little bit of an update on a lot of our guys, and maybe we hope to see more update going forward on two of our main defenders, as we hope to get them back for the game against the Chargers. So let's start with some good news first. The good news is the Colts look to have solved their kicker dilemma with the signing of Michael Badgley, bringing hometown boy home, played some time with the Colts there for a while, and then bounced around the league. Not who I thought the Colts were going to go with, but honestly, it's a pretty consistent guy. He's played in the league more recently. Some of the other options that were available had been limited due to injury over the past couple seasons. I think the Colts, again, going for the consistent option over maybe the flashier best option. Young Koo was surprisingly not even attempted to get. So very curious, but I think Michael Badgley will serve this offense well. It does seem as though the effort is not going to be to put him into long field goal situations, but to keep him in situations under 40 yards and just kick the extra point. I think that's kind of the goal for the Colts, especially going into this week against the Cardinals, who have a fairly decent defense. Shane Steichen said this week multiple times that this team could and should be 5-0. And I think that's kind of how the Colts are treating every opponent, hence the reason that they're stomping some guys into the ground. So that's the first bit of news. The second bit of news is that we got some update on Kenny Moore, and maybe not the kind of update that I think a lot of us were expecting or hoping. Kenny Moore, now this is the third week he's missing. They did not designate him towards the injured reserve, which would put him out for 4 weeks at least. So it seemed as though they were hoping that this was going to be like one of those like really quick turnarounds. If you were here as a Colts fan during the days of Andrew Luck, you kind of remember this is sometimes how the Colts handle injury. It's not my favorite. I don't like it at all, but they did this again with Anthony Richardson a couple times. The Colts have not designated. He hasn't practiced. He didn't practice either yesterday or today. Still unspecified for the game against the Cardinals. And it's very curious, but the news that came out today about Kenny Moore was about his contract. The Colts were able to convert. They were able to clear up $3.8 million in cap space, converting a portion of his yearly salary into signing bonus. This then translated into the Colts then adding basically $950,000, basically $1 million for all intents and purposes, to the end of his contract for the remainder of the years. Why they needed to clear $3.8 million, not entirely sure, but they did seem that they needed to do that. That adds their total that they're able to spend for the remainder of the year, $4.5 million, if my reports are correct, which I do believe my math's good on that, but correct me if I'm wrong there, but I do believe that he's good. So that's some big news. Also, again, just kind of confusing as to why they're converting that at week 5 in the season, heading into week 6. I'm not quite sure what that means. We'll kind of keep an eye on that. It just came out today, so we'll see if maybe the Colts are looking to make a signing or making to bring someone in, maybe trading some guys. Who knows what exactly they're looking to do with that extra bit of cash, but it only clears up the cap space. I guess it clears up for the remainder of his contract. So we'll see. We'll see exactly. It was converted to a signing bonus, so he was able to get that money right away. So we will see how that looks. Next bit of news comes from our boy Alec Pierce. Obviously they're kind of confusing in some of the ways that they specify this, with especially the concussion protocol. There's so many things up in the air. So Alec Pierce, from what it seems and from what it seems to have been revealed, Alec Pierce was basically ready to go, but there was still a little bit he hadn't yet cleared in the concussion protocol on Friday. For what you have to have that designation, I believe, by Friday or Saturday on if he's going to be out or not. He was ruled out on Friday. So this is one of the times where the concussion can last 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of times you see it mostly just take you out for one singular Sunday. We're now seeing Alec Pierce. He was out 2 weeks. This is going to bring him back again. Hopefully, this gave Ashton Doolin a chance to really shine last week against the Raiders. I like Ashton Dulin. I think he's really good. He's kind of that complementary guy to Josh Downs. Really a good guy to have underneath next to your slot receiver, but another guy that can go deep if you need him. Ashton Dulin, I mean, had a fantastic kick return that was negated by penalty this past week. We're happy to see Alec Pierce come back as, again, to only increase what Ashton Dulin's going to be able to do. So I think that's going to be good. Kind of going down the rest of the list for the Colts. Tyquan Lewis was out Wednesday with an injury or with illness. He is back to full practice. Tyler Goodson, groin. This guy is starting to get a CVS receipts worth of injuries. It really seems that this is kind of plaguing him for a while. He did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. Grover Stewart, biceps and rest. He was full practice Wednesday. I did not practice Thursday. It does seem like that's more on the side of caution. And then there is Braden Smith, who did not practice on Wednesday due to rest and was fully back today. Kenny Moore did not practice either day. But here's, I think, another area where we can focus, and that is going to be on the side of the Arizona Cardinals, because this is kind of some big news. This is going to really affect the whole way the Colts are going to approach this game. Is that Kyler Murray did not practice with a foot injury Wednesday or today, and Darius Robinson also did not practice with a pectoral injury. From there's not really a lot of big names that did not practice. Everyone else was full practice or limited today. That was on their list. They do have a laundry list of players: Darius Robinson, Kyler Murray, Kelvin Beachum, Evan Brown, Will Hernandez. Will Johnson was limited in both practices. That's a big one going up against the Colts. Zay Jones, knee injury, was limited in both practices. Max Melton, Cody Simpson, Jonah Williams, Mac Wilson, and Blake Gilkin. Goodness, I read Blake Griffin. That's another big one because that's the punter. He was limited in today's practice. Game is still unspecified. So no one has directly been ruled out, and I think there's reason to hope for a lot of the guys to be back. But specifically on the news of Kenny Moore, I think this is kind of interesting. Who are the Colts going to, are they looking to bring someone in? Are they looking to convert cap space? Remember last season, it was kind of a weird one because they didn't make any mid-season signings, but they were able to convert a lot into cap space. So really kind of confusing as to why they're doing that, unless it's just to save money. Other than that, I do think it's good news. I think that for what we can expect, it seems as though this injury to Kenny Moore is just continuously nagging. Achilles are tough, and especially when you've got a team hoping and looking to make the playoffs, you want to err on the side of caution, and it does seem to be what the Colts are doing with both Kenny Moore and Alec Pierce. And a lot of guys are on rest on these situations, so I think that we're hopeful to see Kenny Moore back at some point in the season, especially if we can get both Kenny Moore, Alec Pierce, Jalen Jones, and Jalen Carley's back before the game against the Chargers. I think that's going to be huge. That is going to be a big-time mashup. There's a real chance the Colts are able to win out before the bye week, before their Week 12 or Week 13 matchup with the Chiefs. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about this? What does any of this mean? Are you surprised by anything? We'll catch you on the next one.